Towards Growth-Focused Physical Activity, Qualitative Evaluation of a Better Future, presented by Maggie Slavin. Physical activity promotion has centered on weight loss, both covertly and overtly, often contributing to missed opportunities to do good for the very people that we aim to serve. This study emphasizes the multifaceted benefits of physical activity beyond weight loss, and the objective is to provide qualitative evidence for a growth-focused approach that will hopefully encourage more successful referral networks between clinical practice and health fitness professionals as the field of clinical exercise physiology expands. Qualitative data was collected in the form of questionnaires at 2 different time points from participants in fitness courses that were group-based but individualized, and also personal training sessions with clients with a trainer. There was a questionnaire before participation began, and this included information that participants would like to share with the trainer, reasons for enrolling in the course or starting training, the rate of excitement, what types, if any, exercise they currently engage in, and to be specific, what types do they enjoy, if any, what types have you not enjoyed, hesitancies, fears, concerns that they had about the course, physical activity, exercise, sport performance, anything related to that, and what would you like to accomplish during the time working together. And then, after months of working together with participants, this trainer was then curious to know what were they able to accomplish, what had they originally sought out to achieve, were they able to do it, what was the major benefits, most enjoyable aspects, a single word to describe the experience, and feedback for the instructor. And if someone were considering enrolling in a class like it or working with the trainer, what would they tell them? Researcher was then curious to know what was going on before and after participation. So was there any change of goals or intentions, maybe a deeper motivation that they learned? What did the participants learn about themselves in the process? Researcher wanted to know more about their story and what fitness had to do with any of it. The results revealed that participants responded positively to the growth-focused approach, expressing increased enjoyment and adherence to sustained physical activities. Social connections formed during group activities emerged as significant contributors to sustained engagement, along with the instructor's support and structure throughout. Data showed improvements in reported overall mental well-being, reductions in stress level, increased fitness knowledge, self-efficacy, adherence, overall strength, conditioning, and mobility. There were 34 participants, and they ranged from being in classes of weightlifting, personal fitness, kickboxing, and working one-on-one with a trainer. The fitness levels of the participants ranged from complete novice to advanced, and this was based on fitness measures such as strength, mobility, endurance. And the ages ranged from 18 through 65. Key themes from the thematic analysis of the questionnaires was that this growth-focused approach was enjoyable and fun. There was stress relief and relaxation, lots of mention of social support, emphasis on having individual freedom while also having guided exploration and support from the instructor, and self-efficacy in the fitness spaces, activities, and goals. This is a word that I find very, very aligned with the approach that the instructor had and the objectives of the qualitative exploration. And that is the word sonder, the realization that each random passerby is living a life as vivid and complex as your own, populated with their own ambitions, friends, routines, worries, and inherited craziness, an epic story that continues invisibly around you like an anthill sprawling deep underground, with elaborate passageways to thousands of other lives that you'll never know existed, in which you might appear only once, as an extra sipping coffee in the background, as a blur of traffic passing on the highway, as a lighted window at dusk. Since this is a qualitative study, I find that having the researcher's reflection on how the, quote, growth-focused approach manifested throughout the time working with the participants. And this is a list of key aspects, some of which are having a social humanistic component, having realistic, relaxed, and a holistic expectations of each participant. This means being patient with results and even letting go of outcomes, not having the expertise of someone else's life. So allowing the individual to explore on their own. This also included having regular inquiry about the researcher's own bias and capacity to show up in working with people. Working with people can be emotionally, mentally taxing. Life can get crazy and busy and emotional and all these things. And so researcher finds the importance of having the regular inquiry about one's own capacity. The structure of the time working with participants in a fitness capacity, it was individualized and exploratory based on scientific principles of exercise physiology and strength and conditioning. It was more than simply just sets and reps and a prescription or a to-do list to give to participants. It was caring about them as a whole person and finding ways for fitness to fit into their whole life and not just separate from it or existing in a vacuum. This often looks like commitment to a long-term plan or a long-term experience with being physically active and having an active lifestyle and being considerate of the challenges and setbacks that arise. The study calls for a shift in physical activity promotion, moving away from a weight-centric model towards a growth-focused approach. The positive reception and sustained engagement observed among participants suggests that emphasizing well-being, mental health, social connections, and overall growth can be an effective framework for lifelong physical activity. Future interventions and public health campaigns ought to encourage continued collaboration between clinical practice and health fitness professionals to more fully carry out this mission.